Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Honorable Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, Union Minister of Communications and Information Technology, to this interactive meeting of IT and cyber crime challenges faced by Indian and international organizations. Organized by the Risk Management Committee and the Insurance Committee of the Indian Merchants Chamber, along with the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce and Global Insurance. Sir, it is an honor and privilege to have you with us today. We thank you for agreeing to spare your valuable time to grace this occasion. We also welcome Advocate Shri Prashant Mali, as well as our eminent panelist Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, CEO of BSE, Shri Kunal Pandey, KPMG, Shri S. Ganesh Kumar, Chief General Manager in charge of IT, RBI, and Shri Suresh Subramaniam of ICICI Bank. I have to also thank Shri Prabodh Thakkar, Chairman, this management committee, for organizing to getting the minister here. And there is a very interesting story behind this, sir. We have an IT awards, annual IT awards. And about a year ago, we are planning this awards. And we wanted to invite you. And coincidentally, the date was June 10th. Unfortunately, we could not manage to have the organize these awards. But the minister is here on the very same date, so I find this as quite an irony. Let me say a few words about the Honorable Minister. A minister in both the Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Narendra Modi governments, Mr. Prasad has been instrumental in turning around state-owned BSNL, which reported operational profits last fiscal, and has played a key role in improving the balance sheet of India Post. However, Mr. Prasad's biggest achievement was changing the image of Sanchar Bhavan, which witnessed the 2G spectrum scam. Fresh auction of spectrum worth 1.10 lakh crores was conducted immediately after Inco as minister. And we must say to the credit of the minister and this government that the whole thing happened so fast after their coming into power, and it really rectified the image of India. Thank you, sir, and we have a lot of expectations from this government. The minister is pushing the NOFN, National Optical Fiber Network scheme, that forms part of Digital India, an ambitious project to connect 150,000 panchayats across the country. Also, the entire Post and Telegraph department, which has so many, I was just seeing an interview last night, I had recorded it, and there are so many opportunities, and I am sure that under the capable leadership of Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad, we will manage to do quite a lot of new improvements in our postal system. Also, it can become one of the best financial organizations in the country. The internet is today one of the fastest growing areas of technical infrastructure development. Information and communication technologies are universal, and trends towards digitalization have already begun. The growth of information technology is accompanied by new and serious threats. Attacks on information technology and infrastructure are rampant in the form of cybercrime. Cybercrime and e-frauds are imposing major threats to the advanced virtual world of internet. Cybercrimes threaten a nation's security and financial health. There are also problems of privacy when confidential information is intercepted or disclosed. This is proving to be a significant challenge to the world we live in. Unfortunately, India scores high on the cybercrime map. Foreign agents steal stealth technology and hack into global companies. While many of these attacks are traced to a few foreign countries, electronic espionage is an accelerating scourge that knows no national or international boundaries. Foreign cyber spies steal secret information for political purposes or to get new technologies that they do not have the knowledge to produce on their own. Cyber espionage not only steals trade secrets for the purposes of obtaining a competitive edge, but also to develop and then launch a product at the same time as its original manufacturer. Therefore, a balance needs to be struck between privacy and security, for which it is very important that internet consumers must not disregard the potential security risks for the need of being constantly connected. Email scams, fake websites, hacking of bank accounts, etc. are some of the common crimes, and in order to educate the Chamber's members on this side, the IT Committee IMC had organized a seminar on cybercrimes and e-frauds on 18th March this year. Now, let me say a few words about the Indian Merchants Chamber. Established in the wake of the Swadeshi movement by our visionary business leaders, the 108-year-old IMC has around 2,700 direct members, comprising a cross-section of the business community, including public and private limited companies and over 225 affiliated member associations, through which the Chamber reaches out to over 250,000 diverse business establishments in the country. We have a strong ladies wing as also a young leaders forum to mold the youngsters who are the future of this country. It is a great privilege for us to have the IT Minister here with us today. I now request Dr. Kanodia to also welcome the Honorable Minister.
Honorable Ravi Shankar ji, thank you very much for your presence. We are very grateful to you for your being here. President Dilip Piramal, Vice President Deepak Prem Narai, past President Prabodh Thakkar, managing committee members, panelists, ladies and gentlemen. This program is being conducted under three umbrellas, namely the Indian Merchant Chamber, the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, and Global Insurance. I am addressing you in three positions. One is I am the National President of the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Vice President-elect of the IMC, and the Chairman of its IT Committee. As Dilip ji said, we are very keen to have Ravi Shankar ji in our midst, and as a coincidence, he is coming exactly on the day that we have planned. Thank you, sir. Very, very greatly appreciated. I must add here that I am delighted with the support of the BJP government to this entire sector and to Indo-US relations, which is so very important to us. Just 3 days or 4 days ago, we had invited Rajnath Singh ji to come to Hyderabad, and as you know, Prime Minister Modi was leaving, so he was very reluctant, but he made it a point and he came there. And he spent the day with us in Hyderabad, but excellent press support reports, which I will hand over to Ravi Shankar ji, reported live on Doordarshan. So I think the BJP government is going out of its way to support such movements. And my sincere thanks and gratitude to Ravi Shankar ji for his kind presence here. Very, very greatly appreciated. Now, Ravi Shankar ji is a doer. I really mean that. He's a doer. So, and you saw what he did with BSNL. And there are many more accomplishments which I will not recite. So I am looking forward to his helping this sector. I will not talk on cybercrime, which people are going to talk in front of you. I am going to make 2 or 3 requests to him for his kind consideration, and I will hand him a memorandum of request from the IMC for his kind consideration. I must tell you that when I founded TCS in 1967, in my wildest dreams, I did not ever think that this sector would get to the current size. I must confess. Nobody ever imagined, sir, that it can get to $160 billion. In the year closed 31st March this year, the total sector, which includes exports and our domestic market, $160 billion, which is 8% of our GDP. So, sir, you're handling one of the most important portfolios in the country. Absolutely. And if you add telecom to that, it's much higher. The NASSCOM prediction said that this figure will go to between 200 to 250 billion by 2020, and we get to 350 to 400 billion by 2025. So we are going to witness explosive growth, and it's in the very capable hands and leadership of Mr. Prasad here. I have no doubt whatsoever that he will make it happen. Sir, I would like to point out one simple thing, that the software sector has 3 distinct and different sectors. First of all, is the IT services, which India is very dominant and which the bulk of our activities, both domestic and export, is IT services. And we have 56% market share, 56 world market share in exports in the software services sector, which is a remarkable phenomenon by any standards. Remarkable phenomenon by any standards. The second sector which I would like to talk about briefly is what is called BPO internationally, and in India we call it ITES. But that's an equally important sector. And last but not the least, something which is very close to my heart and which I'd like to talk about briefly is the IT products. What Microsoft does, or what Oracle does, or what SAP does, which is the high end of the value chain. And I need Ravi Shankarji's support for 2 or 3 initiatives which I am going to hand over memorandum to him for this kind action. The first is, I think, software products. The potential for software products is $50 to $100 billion, and right now it's almost zero, by the way. So I think we have enormous potential to develop and to license and to sell software products worldwide. Most important factor, sir, in software products is that it does not require any work permit. Now you see the press is full of this business of work permit, that if you don't get work permit, our exports will fall down. And 50% of our software exports are on-site which require work permits. You should know that. So therefore we do have a hanging sword on our head, and if Trump comes, I do not know what will happen. So that is a real threat to us. Now therefore, if we get into software products, we can do work from India, like others do, and export it to the United States of America. It's a very, very important factor. The other point that I'd like to the minister to look at is that in the recent budget, there was a stipulation that if you patent something in India and you derive profits from that item patented in India, the profits from that will be taxed at 10%. I've got a copy of that stipulation. Now, sir, software is not patented, it is copyrighted. Just like books and music. So, sir, I would like you to take it up with our finance minister that the great potential that we have with software products, and software products that we trade are generally not patented, they are copyrighted, and therefore that particular section should add the word for software if it is copyrighted. So my humble submission to you is that please take it up on behalf of the industry and lend us your help. The next point that we come to is the business process outsourcing, which I think again is very important to India for many, many reasons. First of all, it generates large employment. Secondly, it generates employment in our smaller cities and in the villages, which is very, very crucial to this country. Third, it does not require any work permits. We don't send people to America to carry out BPO projects. They're done right here in India. Therefore, it's very vital from that point of view. I must congratulate the minister for laying out the optic fiber network to 150,000 villages. And they're high speed, and that will really make all the difference. But if you can move this industry out to the smaller cities and to the villages, it should make a tremendous difference to the entire country. Last but not the least, unlike IT, IT we have colleges, 3-year program, 4-year program, postgraduate, doctorate. BPO has no such program. So BPO has to be handled just like the article class in chartered accountants. You need what we call an apprenticeship program. So therefore you need vocational training to encourage BPO. Now sir, the problem with the vocational training program is that the money paid to the person who is undergoing training in a company is treated as a wage. And when it's treated as a wage, it becomes subject to Provident Fund, income tax, and the Minimum Wages Act. Sir, just like article clerks are not employees, they're undergoing vocational training. So if you undergo vocational training in BPO, it is not employment. So I would say that you look at that very carefully, and there are examples in Germany, Japan, and other countries where this is legislated, but I think it can make a huge difference. So I really sincerely believe that the future of IT is in very safe hands of Shri Ravi Shankarji. I sincerely hope that we can extend this beyond services to products and to the business process outsourcing area, which has equally, if not larger potential, and for the long-term good of this country. So once again, sir, my sincere thanks to you for your so kindly having accepted our invitation to be present in our midst today. It gives us great enthusiasm, and I have no doubt whatsoever that this industry will go from strength to strength under your leadership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your speech. India truly has the capability to make leading software products. And Sir's speech was especially relevant in terms of the fact that yesterday itself, a bilateral notice was issued by United States President Barack Obama and our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji regarding cybersecurity and cyber preparedness. Next, I would like to humbly invite Mr. Prabodh Thakur, Chairman of Global Insurance, on stage.
Honorable Union Minister of Communication and Information, Sri Ravi Shankar Prasad, my colleagues on the dais, my friends, past presidents, panelists, those who are going to discuss at length the subject. Mr. Kanodia, you have covered a lot what I wanted to mention, but I would like to articulate a little bit differently. I would say, since Ravi Shankar Prasad ji has taken over the ministry, he has already impacted this sector so much. And I was really touched looking at what he did, a turnaround, one of the best turnaround story this country has seen. A huge loss-making public sector company, BSNL, which had seen 8,000 crores loss, he converted into a profit. This is the type of minister we have. These are the leaders we have. How fortunate we are. And just picking up and how fortunate we are also. Just today in the morning at 5:36, I was just looking at Mr. Modi's address to US business community, and he was talking and stressing about the need of doing something about cybercrime and cyber attacks besides the national security. And here in a few hours, we have a union minister who is going to address us on that. So thank you very much, sir, for coming all the way. You have a huge responsibility, very busy schedule. We have been talking for last 3 months. I must thank my friend Atul Shah, who really played a big role in convincing the minister to come all the way. So thank you very much. Today, nearly 1.2 billion population may not have electric connections, water connections, but nearly 1 billion people have a telephone connections. Now this is the impact and importance that our minister has. So what he does, what he doesn't do, has a huge impact on our country and our economy. The important position is also this whole sector is under under scanner. I mean, this had a little bit of unfortunate. It came in the media for wrong reasons on scam. Then it came as a growth story, and now I think what is happening all over the world is that this sector is under attack, which we call it a cyber attack, which has reached to the table of President of America, which has reached to the table of our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. And every industry is quite conscious as what is next. Whilst cyber and technology has become a very important part of our life, the reality is that this sector is under threat. Cyber crime is a reality. So if we think this is going to happen to somebody else, we are mistaken. So that's why we thought, and I thought as a chairman of the Risk Management Committee of both Indo-American and Indian Merchant Chamber of Commerce, I thought this is a very relevant topic. All we can do it is in limited hours or in a day or two in a workshop like this is only raise the bar, make a conscious effort, take some baby steps and acknowledge the problem. Most important thing is to acknowledge the problem, and then probably we will have some solutions. The awareness, the transfer of risk to insurance, because I come from insurance background, but these are the most only two perhaps the reasons. So we will have very soon Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad's guidance. He's going to address it to us. And then he has kindly agreed to take few questions. So kindly raise your hands after he would be inviting few questions. And after he has departed, there is no break. So the business session will continue. So kindly take your seat. Thank you very much, sir. May I once again thank you, welcome on behalf of everybody here, and you have a good evening. Thank you very much.
We come now to the much-awaited keynote address by our Honorable Union Minister of Information Technology and Communications, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji. I would now like to request Sir to come and speak.
Mr. Dilip Melaman, Dr. Lalit Kanoria, Mr. Prem Narayan, Mr. Pramod Thakkar, Shri Trivedi, my distinguished colleague in the Parliament, Atul Shah, ladies and gentlemen. It is nice to be back in the Indian Merchant Chamber after a gap of nearly 14 years. You invited me when I was the coal and mines minister in the Bajpayee government. Now you have invited me when I am the communication and IT minister in the Narendra Modi government. We would have also appreciated had you given some platform when we were in opposition. But no problem. We are not likely to go in opposition for a long time now. Therefore, I think this engagement will continue. Yes, Atul and Pramod Thakkar were after me for a long time. Now how this government functions, just to give an indication, all of us are in the field now. The Prime Minister decided that we have completed 2 years of our government. We will not hold a ceremonial function only in Delhi with journalists. All the ministers will go in the field, including the Prime Minister. He went to Saharanpur, he went to Davangere, he went to Odisha. And after a very outstanding trip to USA and other countries, and I think today every Indian's head is very high as to what has happened in USA and other parts of the world as far as India's strategic fulfillment of our strategic interests are concerned. Now just to tell you my itinerary, I was in Mumbai, then I went to Mathura, then I went to Kakinada, yesterday I was in Jodhpur, tomorrow I am going to Chhindwara. And all the ministers from Leh to Kanyakumari are in the field, talking to people, meeting the press, intellectuals, professionals, public meeting, what we have done to explain and taking the feedbacks. This is how our government functions. We must be in constant communication with the people of India. Today I had an Express Adda program, long commitment. I told Atul and Mr. Thakkar, and I'm happy to be here. A lot has been talked about BSNL turnaround. What is the BSNL story? Very simple. When Bajpayee government left office, it was in a profit of 10,000 crore. And when Manmohan Singh government left office, it was in a cool loss of 8,000 crores. That's a simple story. The other thing I cannot speak because as a minister I have some limitations. You can draw your inference. Whenever I become a minister in some department, I set some of my priorities. And turning around the BSNL was one of my priorities. Within a space of 1 year, 8 months or 6 months, BSNL had turned around to have the operating profit of 672 crore for the first time in the last 10 years. And this year when the final calculation will come to the audit, they are likely to have an operating profit of nearly 21 to 2200 crores. And the most important change has been last year, till May, June, they were notching customers base of 7 to 8 lakh per month. Now they are knocking 23 lakh per month. This is the scale we have been able to do. And don't forget, the same BSNL gives free service when there is an earthquake or when there is a natural calamity or when there is a floods. And most important, PSUs have to get the scolding of the minister. They have to suffer parliamentary questions. They have to face the standing committee. They have to face the prying eye of media. They have to suffer court proceeding. They have to suffer contempt, CVC, CBI and CAG paras. In spite of all these limitations, if PSUs turn around, why it is possible? The same people, if motivated rightly and given the right leadership, are able to excel and perform. That is a simple story which we have been able to do. And for me, it is a personal satisfaction In as much as when Vajpayee gave me the coal and mines ministry, Coal India was in loss of 1400 crores. And within 1.5 years, I was successful in turning it around with a profit of 1500 crores. Therefore, from Coal India to BSNL, I have 2 success stories, but that is beside the point. What is the total profile of India today which I am handling? If you see the digital profile of India, in a population of 1.25 billion, we have 1.2 billion mobile phones. We have 1.1 billion people of India on digital identity verifiable under Aadhaar, kept under the most secure conditions. And we have 400 million, 40 crore people on internet, 60% mobile based. That is the digital profile of India. Now, we are involved in certain very game-changing programs of India. Every government comes with a program, and that is the part of democratic polity. But certain programs become game changer. I remember when the National Highway Program was initiated by the Vajpayee government, there was a lot of opposition. Jameen kahan se aayegi? You have to link up from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Surat to Silchar, 4-lane, 6-lane highway. And we are the only one model of Mumbai-Pune highway, okay? The 4-lane one. There is no other model. But I remember I was a part of the meeting, Vajpayee said nothing doing, we have to do. And I remember 6 months ago, I was in Kanyakumari and my public function was being held at the place where the Kashmir to Kanyakumari 4-lane highway terminates. And I had an hour time to reach the airport. I said, let me drive for some time to have a feel as to how if you have a commitment changes to occur. Digital India, Make in India, Startup India, Stand Up India, smart cities are basically designed to make a new India, which is the empowered India. I remember our Prime Minister coined a slogan in the campaign. IT plus IT is equal to IT. Which simply means India's talent plus information technology is equal to India tomorrow. That's what we have to work for. And I never knew that when I will become a minister, under the Prime Minister will entrust me the responsibility to actualize this very powerful slogan. Now, Digital India is something which we owe to the people of India. To bridge the digital divide between the digital haves and digital have-nots. And ladies and gentlemen, Digital India is more for the poor, for the underprivileged. And I'll be the happiest when a chaiwala, a panwala, a carpenter, a mason are seeking a change in their life through their new business model based upon a smartphone in their hand. And that has started happening in India. Yesterday I was in Jodhpur. A Dalit Sarpanch of a particular Gram Panchayat met me. She was very keen. Sir, I have made an app for my Gram Panchayat. Kindly inaugurate it. I inaugurated and found to my pleasant surprise, at a click of a button, all the services available in the Gram Panchayat are on that app. And the second is all the more interesting and inspiring. Satamma Devi is a Bidi Majdoor of Telangana. I learned that she has become digitally literate. I tweeted to congratulate her. It became a big news in Telangana. Telugu channels came to interview her. She became a celebrity. I said, let me talk to her. She didn't know Hindi or English either. I talked to her to an interpreter. She was very overwhelmed that the Minister of India was talking to her. I asked her, how did you choose to become digitally literate? And the reply she gave is an indication of the changing profile of India. She said, I'm a Bidi Majdoor. I don't know much to read or write. But I have a son who is a plumber in Dubai. And I was missing my son and my grandson. And I was told if you want to see them and talk to them, go on a Skype. You will see their face and you will talk to them. To operate their Skype, I became digitally literate. You understand my point? How India is changing? That is the shape of India. And ladies and gentlemen, I turn to my postal department. My postal department is what? 150 years old organization. I always compare postal department to an old lady under a ghumbat in a village. I said, come out of it. You have to walk with me. I pushed them in a very vigorous manner into e-commerce. We have gotten 50,000 post offices all over the country, substantially in the rural areas. And the postman remains still the best KYC, know your customer, you all know it. And because of the SMS and messaging, chithi aayi hai, ab kam aati hai, and my postmen were finding themselves a little redundant. I said, go into e-commerce. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to tell you, the sheer parcel revenue of the postal department, which was down by 2% in 13-14, rose by 45% in 14-15, and has risen by 80% in 15-16 by the use of these platforms. We are soon going to launch the payment bank of the postal department. It will be a game changer. 650 postal payment banks will come, and ultimately they are going to give a handheld device, moving ATMs to all the 130,000 rural postmen. They will go to the village, not only deliver the routine payment bank provisions of 1 lakh giving, 1 lakh taking, but third-party services. And the sheer excitement is created in the country is that we have just given the cabinet approval. 50 companies of the world and India are keen to partner with postal department. And who are they? Barclays of London, Deutsche Bank of Germany, Citibank of USA, the World Bank and whatnot, all the Indian banks and all the insurance company and mutual fund except LIC. The sheer reach and platform. And I can tell you it is going to be a game changer, my postal department reach. And I also use the postal department to satisfy some of the cultural needs of Indians. How India is changing, I had gone to a field visit in Hapur, in Uttar Pradesh. It is a sea-grade town. From where I went to village because it has Mumbai connection, therefore I am mentioning it. Today mobile phones are being delivered, textiles are delivered, jewelry is being delivered, medicines for elderly people, books for young men. I went to a village 40 kilometers away from Hapur. The rural postman was there, a young girl came. I told the postman, don't introduce me to her, and she didn't recognize me. A consignment from Mumbai came in front of me. And I asked her, I'm saying in Hindi, ki, beta, aapne kya mangaya hai? Then मैंने ज्वेलरी मंगाई. कहाँ से मंगाया? मुंबई से मंगाया है. कैसे मंगाया है? टीवी पर देखा, अपने स्मार्टफोन से ऑर्डर कर दिया. Now this is the India happening on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, you can't believe how the digital connect is empowering Indians and giving them new ambitions. And one hilarious story is of Delhi. One day a lawyer friend rang me up. I was very busy, but he was keen to talk to me. He said, Mr. Minister of IT and Communication, I want to share a very interesting story. And talking in Mumbai chambers, I need to share that. 2 stories I will share. One day he was a big lawyer with a big fat Videshi car. He got a puncture in the heavy traffic of Delhi. He left in disgust what to do, went on Google, how many puncture walas are in Delhi. 50 numbers came. How many are close to my house? 3 numbers came. He gave a message. He returned back, wait, I'm coming. And after an hour, he sent an app. This is your tube. 3 big nails are there. In an hour's time, I'm coming. This is my bill. Keep me ready. Keep it ready. Now, no one told the puncharwala that your smartphone can give you a good business opportunity. But he picked it. There is a famous startup, Digital Desh, which moves in every part of India in a car and records the changing profile of India through the mobile phone. And the most fascinating was the story of Orcha near Jhansi. A lot of Spanish tourists come there. And a souvenir shop, elderly person didn't know Spanish. And the Spanish tourist didn't know English. in only broken English. His grandson was watching it. He went on Google, had a crash course of a Spanish course for 15 days, and he started speaking Spanish, and the entire tourist inflow rose like anything. I am a political activist in my student life. I have seen India for the last so many years in course of my party and gubernatorial responsibilities. But the IT movement of India is truly phenomenal. And what we are doing, we have created 5 platforms. The first is the optical fiber network, which someone talked about. We are linking 250,000 Gram Panchayats of India by optical fiber network. And the speed, which we call BharatNet. And the speed is, it was no fun. When our government has come, it was only 258 kilometers in 3 years. Now, till yesterday, we have laid 120,000 kilometers in 2 years and 5 days. That's the speed we are working with. You have to complete. The second, I just talked about the postal connectivity, which we are doing. We are giving core banking solution to all the post offices. And today is talking in Mumbai, in the presence of eminent people from the bank. Today, when our government came, it was only 300 branches which had core banking solution. Now it is 22,200. And the postal payment bank core banking is larger than the State Bank of India. It is only 1,600 in all branches there. The third, what we are doing, the third is common service centers who deliver your digital service in rural India. Because Pramod and Mr. Lalit Kanodia talked about rural connectivity. So we are also reinforcing them, and we are going to give them internet licenses also for providing it. The fourth is virtual mobile network, which we have created, where you don't need to have all these things, the light, the network, etc., and you can deliver it. And the fifth is the rural BPO. I'm happy Dr. Kanodia talked about it. I've already anticipated that. We have decided to have 48,000 seats distributed among the states of India minus digitally rich area like Mumbai, Pune, Gurgaon, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad. Maharashtra has got 3,500. And all we are encouraging, the tender is going on on the 30th of June. We will give 1 lakh subsidy per seat, and there will be additional incentive if you go beyond the capital of these non-digitally rich areas. Therefore, BPO to postal to common service center to optical fiber network to virtual network. The 5 platforms we have created, which is going to digitize India further. We have also pushed electronic manufacturing in a big way, because I also deal with that. And just to give an indication, when our government has come, the total investment in electronic manufacturing was 11,200 crores. Now it is 1,20,000 crores. And we are pushing India to become a big electronic manufacturing hub. And last year, I went to various parts of the world, impressing upon them to come to India, make in India for India, and also export outside. Use the labor and the human resource of India. And ladies and gentlemen, last year we manufactured 11 crore mobile phones in India. And last year only we have 17 new plants coming in India or expanded to make this electronic manufacturing into mobile, into automobiles, into solar power a big success. All these things are going in the right direction. But how we all could do this, that is the most important. I sit in Sanchar Bhavan, and I think Dilip Piramal mentioned about that. When I went to take my seat after taking oath, my secretary said in lighter vein, he said, would like to change your chair, because the new minister is entitled to change your entire furniture and chair. I asked him why. One of your predecessors who sat on this chair has gone to jail, and the other may follow very soon. I thought I must tell you, the option is yours. I could see the pun and the punch in what he said. I said I will sit on the same chair, but I will change the color and texture of this chair. That's what I'm going to do. And you have seen today, ladies and gentlemen, you are most welcome to come to Sanchar Bhavan. It is middleman free, completely. I meet everyone, but the message is very clear. Whatever is doable shall be done, regardless of whatever you say. whatever is not doable shall not be done, regardless of whatever you do. If that message goes, then the whole system becomes different. If the 4G license was required to be given, I gave to everyone, whether it's the Jio or the Airtel or the Vodas or the Ideas. Let there be a fair competition. Let the people have the best services. And the spectrum auction which you talked about, the highest we had, where 2G scan used to take place. And now I have cleared all the policy initiatives, spectrum trading, sharing, liberalization, harmonization, is pending for a long time. Therefore, a base has been created. Now, coming to this whole digital part of it, just to complete one about Aadhaar. This is the greatest contribution of India to the world. This verifiable identity of 1 billion plus Indian is kept in the most secure conditions. The data center is in India, and with due regard to privacy, you must know it, because now we have a law for it. And I was a part of the drafting committee, and I was part of Arun Jaitley ji. And we insisted that the core biometrics, the iris, the fingerprint, cannot be shared even by the consent of the owner. That's the extent we have gone. And taking a cue from Supreme Court judgments, we have said that core biometrics can be revealed only in the case of national security or safety. And that will be done if a joint secretary level officer approves it and confirmed by the cabinet secretary by a committee. Therefore, all the safeguards of privacy we have kept. But this world, which is the virtual world, namely the digital world, is going to be a very fascinating world. Well, friends of the Indian Chamber of Commerce, let me tell you, in the coming 5 to 7 years, the digital economy is going to be a $1 trillion economy. $1 trillion only in India. How I say that? $400 billion would be electronic manufacturing. $350 billion would be IT and IT-enabled services. And $250 billion will be communication services. As Mr. Karodia was pointing out, this year we have notched up $108 billion in IT exports from India, the highest ever in the history of India. And talking in Mumbai, I need to salute India's IT professionals who have done wonders. Today they have a powerful presence in 200 cities of 80 countries. And Indian IT products, in terms of outsourcing, occupy 56% of the world's space. Mr. Karodia, don't be so unnecessarily perturbed on this whole US visa issue. I don't think US companies can survive without Indian companies, can they? They cannot. I have already seen the whole scenario. I'm very proud to say that Indian IT companies are servicing about 500 Fortune companies of USA. Okay? Their services, their products, they are giving tax. The visa issue we talked about, we have taken at the highest level. I have talked to my counterpart in USA. The Prime Minister has conveyed to the President Obama, and we'll find a way out of it. This we have done, that we in India must learn to trust our strengths. And if the world today, from Afghanistan to Iran to Saudi Arabia to Japan to USA, is seeking India. About a fortnight ago, I was in Sweden. I had a detailed bilateral meeting with the Prime Minister. And far away in Scandinavian countries, so much of resonance India is making was something very pleasing to see. Therefore, these issues will keep on coming. But coming to the issue of debate today, where I would like to share some of your own ideas, this virtual world is a very fantastic world. It is a complex world of IT, of technology, of imagination, of innovation. But this virtual world is also a linkage with the local world, the real world. And the disconnect between the virtual and the real give rise to serious issues. Data in India is rising in a phenomenal manner. I am on Twitter. All the ministers are on Twitter, on Facebook. We control our department through these instruments. I remember a lady from Australia put a complaint on my Facebook that she delivered a sent a consignment to her widowed mother in Ludhiana. Now it is 2 months not delivered. I sent a message to Ludhiana Post District. If by evening tomorrow it is not delivered to the old lady, action will follow straight away. It could be delivered by 12 o'clock. The second, someone sent me a paper cutting from my own estate. An old 91-year-old lady was not getting the check of her Kisan Vikas Patra maturity. 4 times she had come, she had gone back in disgust. I told Bihar district, tomorrow you will go with the check, deliver it to old lady, give her a rosebud, take a photograph and WhatsApp to me. And the rest is history. Now this is how we are working. From railway to me to all colleagues, we are working like that. This new technology can be utilized for good monitoring. If you do it honestly, the same officers do respond and deliver. But these have problems. Data is rising. How to ensure is the crucial question. It is a very complex question. What we are doing in India, I thought I must give you one very interesting, Dr. Kanodia will be interested to know it, how India's digital services are rising. We have a portal called eTAL. eTAL means the moment you seek any digital service in India, from a plane ticket to a rail ticket to Mr. Trivedi's vast clientele of income tax going online to file their returns, etc., it gets recorded immediately. In May 2014, it was 227 crore. In May 2015, it was 538 crores. In May 2016, it has become 611 crores. Can you understand? So many Indians are seeking digital services. It gets automatically recorded. So while we acknowledge, we applaud this rise of digital services being sought by Indians, the problems are there. And the problems are very interesting. What is to be done? I have always said, Internet is one of the finest creations of human mind. It must not be allowed to be abused by a few. The terrorists, the extremists. You mean what is happening by the ISIS people? How they are leveraging technology. We have to be alive to that. And there we work in close sync with our cyber security department, the Home Ministry, the National Security. So that has to be given top priority. And I think that is one area which is not negotiable. These extremists and terrorists cannot allow to derail India's story by use of ICT. Plain and simple. They will have to be very firm. The second, the financial services of India. India is rising, doing very well. I'm very happy to tell, ladies and gentlemen, that in spite of a world apparent slowdown, India is notching 7.6% growth rate. In spite of a bad monsoon for 2 consecutive years. The highest FDI, manufacturing rising by nearly 9%. My old telecom sector received 27,000 crores of FDI in the last 2 years. That's how we are going. Naturally, some people become unhappy. They have to be derailed. Therefore, financial services impact is going to be very serious. And we have to be on the guard. What we are doing, some of the briefly I would like to tell you. The first thing, we have a certain Indian Computer Emergency Response Team which alerts, which gives advice, which detects, and I have visited there because of the sake of security. I cannot talk much in detail. It is 24/7 monitoring which we do there. And just to tell you, till now they have handled 54,483 security incidents. They have issued 7 security alerts, and they have published about 196 vulnerability notes and 49 advisories. They keep on doing these things. The second, we have established a National Cyber Coordination Center where we work with various parts of India, various departments of India, Government of India. Then this botnet cleaning and malware cleaning system we have developed, which we are working with close cooperation with internet service providers, that if you have some bottleneck or a problem in your system, automatically alert will be there and there is an automatic cleaning process. That we are doing. collaboration with all the major countries of the world, and most important is a skill drill and cyber security audit. We have got about 57 audit organizations in the country, duly certified, ISO 2007-001 standard maintenance, who can audit your security apparatus. Then we have a crisis management plan, we have a cyber security drills. But what is more important is those things we keep on doing. We are making skill development is a very important component of cyber security. About 580 officers we have trained in the last 1 year. We have set up a cyber lab at the National Law School of India in Bangalore. And there we are training the judges, the public prosecutors. We have set up a cyber forensic training lab. And my Department of Electronics and Information Technology is going to train about 1.14 lakh qualified professionals in the coming 5 years in the field of cyber security. Therefore, from skilling to training to advisory to monitoring, all the things we are doing. But this, the government will keep on doing the best. What is important is all of you to join hands. And cyber security should remain a very important agenda of the IT architecture of India. And as the Prime Minister said always in his very stirring phrase, cyber security is bloodless war. Remember it. You don't need to shed blood to win or commit an aggression. And therefore I am very happy that today or yesterday when he talked to President Obama, cyber security was an important issue. Wherever the Prime Minister goes, he keeps on alerting the civil society, the democratic governments, to talk in one voice about the increasing threat of cybercrime. I am very happy that you all have taken this initiative to have a dialogue on this. I will await the conclusion of your dialogues so that we can form a proper response together. And as the IT Minister of India, let me assure all of you present here that if you are willing to walk 10 steps, I am willing to walk 15 steps with you. If some legal architecture is further required, I am quite open for that. Already the Home Ministry has constituted a committee to consider the issues of cybercrime in greater detail. But I am willing, quite open to have any suggestions, because what is our commitment? Our commitment is to make an empowered India. Our commitment is to make an India which truly moves with its head high in the community of nations. And today the whole world is getting excited with these changing programs, transformational, like Digital India, Make in India, Skill India. And this India has also to be a secure India. Thanks a lot. Namaskar. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We are truly honored to have you present at our event. It is not every day that we get to hear inspirational and insightful words from the leader at the helm of the cyber renaissance in India. I would now like to open the floor for some questions.